Hello everyone and welcome back to Silicon Sounds, audio for the rest of us. Today I have the opportunity to review an IEM from a company that I've been aware of but haven't had an opportunity to hear any of their products until now. This is the Myer Audio Sliivo or Sliivo. There's two I's in the Sliivo name. This model is the SL224. I'd like to title this review as Musical Precision. Myer Audio is yet another IEM market name, and it's a shame that it might not be as well known as some more established players. The two IEMs I've had a pleasure, the SL3 and this one, the SL224, I at least have the pleasure of listening to from this company, have been very good, have left me with some very positive feelings about this company. Myer Audio carries two lines of IEMs named Sliivo or Sliivo and CKLVX, whatever that does stand for. I will not sit here and tell you I know what the difference is between the product lines. The prices don't seem to make a difference, but they do exist. But in the end, overall, it's the sound that really matters. At $270 US, the SL224 employs a hybrid driver setup with two dynamic drivers, dual balanced armatures which handle the mid-range. The dynamic drivers are dealing with the bass, and interestingly enough, 4 microplanar drivers for the treble. That's a total of 8 drivers per side. All of this, of course, managed or under the control of a dedicated crossover, which you use to manage the driver frequency ranges, of course, in a situation like this. This all sounds like a lot of different tech, and really it is. With the SL224, Myer Audio has shown an admirable level of technical prowess in getting a cohesive and eminently satisfying sound, leveraging the tech not just for the whims of the marketing department, but for the betterment of the overall audio quality. A few others, such as BGVP, have succeeded and shown this level of technical prowess, but far too many others have not succeeded or done that well when throwing drivers together. I will point out on a side note that when the marketing department becomes the most powerful department in a company, expect bad things to happen to the sound. As a bonus, the included cable comes with a 4.4 millimeter, 3.5 millimeter, and surprisingly, a USB-C plug for connectivity. And I'll show you that cable later. The SL224 is fairly easy to drive, yet it is quite a resolving set that scales nicely with better sources. Tip selection is also in play here, as it should be with most IEMs, in order to extract the best performance possible. Of course, cables as well, if that's your thing. I would pair the Sliivo 224 with a wide bore tip, which gives you a very solid seal, and probably a high purity pure copper cable. And sources, definitely a capable and resolving source, so you, again, extract the best performance out of this wonderful IEM. Tuning-wise, the SL224 offers a neutral presentation with some lift in the upper frequencies, bordering on a bright neutral sound. Its sound is wonderfully clear and detailed, being noticeably spacious and clean. So let me get you a nice look at this. Very nicely done. I don't know if that's a port, possibly. Shells are immaculate. It does have this. I'll talk about this right now, right after I talk about specs. Impedance is 36 ohms, which is slightly higher than most IEMs out there that I've dealt with. Sensitivity is 108 dB. Frequency response 20 to 20 kilohertz. Nozzle size 6.2 millimeters. It is a short but a chunky nozzle. Connector type is 0.78 millimeter 2-pin, but as I showed you, let me get into it. Hopefully you can see that. It's recessed. Definitely, unless you're using third-party cables with very long pins or has the end that will fit in this recessed port, you might be out of luck. Sorry if that went off camera. That's one thing to note with this IEM. Termination type is interesting. The 224 comes with 3 different termination types. Comes with 3.5 millimeter single-ended, 4.4 millimeter balance, and a USB Type-C, which is unusual. Let's talk about build and fit. The Myer Audio Sliivo 224, SL224 is a beautiful IEM. The shell is immaculately finished. Can't feel any kind of border. The top of the shell is done in this beautiful insert motif. Very, very nicely done. And of course, what I believe is a port. I could be wrong. It's a beautiful looking IEM. Build quality is excellent. Shells are perfectly finished. Retail presentation, I did not get the full retail presentation, but I have seen it from a member of my review group that gave these to me for evaluation. It is nice with a decent and pleasant unboxing experience. The supplied accessories are of excellent quality. The stock cable is exceptional. So I'll get these out of the way and I'll show you the stock cable. This cable is beautiful. It again comes with replaceable tips, and it has very easy to take this off and change the tip. The haptics are really good. It's soft to the hands, yet it has just the right amount of firmness. It does resist becoming tangled. And let me show you the icing on the cake here. Here are the other tips. USB-C. This is interesting. We can see, of course, it has a 4-pin inside. It's got a connector so that to maintain that seal once it's closed and firmness. Of course, there's the 3.5 millimeter single-ended USB-C. Inside, I would chance to figure it must be some kind of built-in DAC amp built in if you're going to use this with your phone. So Myer Audio have covered all the bases. Definitely not just the IEMs themselves, but the included accessories do kind of indicate to the buyer that this is a premium product. It is moderately large, yet its shape fits comfortably and is perfect for long listening sessions. Unlike the IEM I just had listened to, the Silver Reference, Colorfly Silver Reference SR, another great sounding IEM with fitment issues that really brought down the enjoyment. Still a great IEM with respect to sound, at least. From retail presentation to the IEM accessories themselves, a premium product. This is a premium product. At least it exudes that kind of feel when looking at this. But let's get into the sound. Well, bass. Balanced and linear bass presentation throughout the low end. There's no emphasis of, for example, sub bass over mid bass or mid bass over sub bass. There's an even-keeled approach to the bass presentation here in terms of power. Bass does go very deep, but not with bass head power. This is not a bass head IEM. Bass control, resolution, and speed are standout. Sub bass and mid bass have great texturing. Bass has adequate power when the track demands it, but it's not overwhelming. This will be never, the SL224, I keep saying 244, will never be mistaken as a bass head IEM. This is not to say it doesn't have bass. It absolutely does. When I was listening to Angel by Massive Attack, it's all there. I was listening to Ikusani by Cairo, a beautifully recorded house track. It's all there. Emotions Electric by a guy called Gerald, another fantastically recorded electronic track. It's all there. No Worries, Robert Glasper Trio live. You can hear the double bass quite clearly and distinctly with all of its texture. It's there. It's just that at times some may find that the upper ranges may overshadow the bass somewhat, and it's really track dependent. When I'm listening to my light jazz, house tracks, it's all good. It's very good. Bass here is all about quality over quantity, but enough of the latter to still satisfy. That's how I would put it. Mid-range, clean, transparent, open. Detail retrieval, macro and micro is outstanding. This thing is a detail monster. Yet, the mid-range can lack some warmth, yet not enough to sound cold. Pleasing timbre and balance. Upper mid-range is elevated, but no harshness was noted. Note weight is adequate, but not class leading. At times, depending on the track, the mid-range can have a touch, well, sound somewhat thin. That being said, it's really, again, track dependent. But otherwise, it's all there. Note weight is adequate, again, but not class leading. Pinna gain is just above moderate, but there's no harshness or sibilance. And this is the thing that really draws me towards a more brighter neutral presentation, is that when you find an IEM that can do it correctly, and one of the biggest criteria for doing it correctly is to keep away from sibilance and harshness, it's really very pleasing, especially when an IEM such as the SL224, which has that amount of incredible detail retrieval. Layering and separation are very good. There's a lot of space around the instruments, for example. Vocal textures are easy to discern. Again, layering and separation are notable. The SL224 makes it easy to discern and to know where the instruments are and really listen through even a busy track and discern or identify each instrument individually. Treble, well extended. Very nicely extended treble. Ample treble energy. Detail retrieval is again outstanding. Ample sparkle and air present. The 4 microplanar drivers might be responsible for the lushness heard in the treble. There's a lushness heard in the treble that really comes to light when you listen to a lot of stringed instruments, for example. Not necessarily cymbals, but strings, but some cymbals, some hi-hats with the resonance. It's not a negative thing. It's done so tastefully well, and that probably is a byproduct of using the microplanar or planar technology as the treble transducer. That being said, really, it's not planar treble. It just has a lushness to it, an extra crispness and lushness that is quite pleasing. So let's break down the sound of this, bring it together. The overall sound is crystal clear and vibrant. When I say crystal clear, you hear everything. And vibrant with details everywhere. Yes, the SL224, once again, is a detail beast. That's for sure. The beautiful thing is that Myer Audio has still managed to keep the SL224 from sounding anywhere near clinical. It simply presents a vibrant yet musical sound, and they did it very well. They really pulled it off. The SL224 isn't a toasty, warm-sounding IEM with subdued technicalities meant to appease everyone. It will not please everyone. If you're a bass head, this is not going to please you. If you're overly treble sensitive, this may not please you as well. That being said, it's an IEM tuned for precision and musicality. On rare, or I should say one rare attribute of the SL224 is its ability to render the space between the notes as a black background. I have to tell you that when I review IEMs, when I hear this, it makes me pause. It's rare. It's rare to actually hear the space between the notes and be able to recognize and realize that that space is like a black hole. It's empty. For this listener, for myself personally, it adds up to a more immersive experience when an IEM can present this, in particular when listening to well-recorded music. Imaging and soundstage, another winner that Myer Audio has put out with the SL224. It's moderately sized open soundstage, and when I say open, I mean there's space around every instrument. Instrument placement is accurate and pinpoint. Dimensions are generous with notable spacing around the instruments. The presentation of dimensions is also done naturally. Doesn't feel overblown in any one direction, whether it's width, height, or depth. Layering and instrument separation is quite notable. Again, that space around the instruments and that black background in between the notes and in between actual instruments for well-recorded live tracks, for example. Technicalities here are very strong. Let's go verses. Now, if I can get it from across the room. Here we are, and I do these reviews one-off, so please excuse me. This is the Myer Audio Sliivo, still connected to its wire as I'm listening to it, SLA3. I believe that is the proper, I've been told that that is the actual model number of this one. This one comes in at $103 or $104 US versus this one, so about $100 more, a little bit more than that actually. Let's compare the two, because these are the two I have on hand. The SLA3, again, I have my own tips here. That's not the tips that came with it. Been listening to it quite extensively. Definitely lower regarding pricing at the time of this review. The bass is stronger with more presence and push and just power on the SLA3. That's heard right away. Greater drive. But in terms of overall control, the SL224 does better. Listening to Angel by Massive Attack, more of that texture is evident, for example, on the SL224 than the SLA3, although this does do quite well. In the mid-range, the SL224 and SLA3 both offer a sound filled with details. Both of them do extract a lot of details. That being said, the SL224 takes the easy win here, having superior detail retrieval capabilities and a somewhat more open-sounding soundscape. I am very impressed with the SLA3 though, and this will be my next review. In the treble region, both sound great, with the SL224 having a lusher sound and slightly more treble energy, possibly due to its slightly lower bass output. You take away from one, you gain in the other. So both of these are fantastic. I'm very impressed with the 224. And at $104, the SLA3 is exceptionally impressive as well. That's for another review. Let's go back to the SL224 and let's give you a conclusion. The Myer Audio SL224, if I've said 244 during this review, please forgive me. The 224 is a winner. It offers a sound ripe with detail and precision. Is it for everyone? Absolutely not. I have not found an IEM that is for everyone, and I really hope I don't, because it doesn't exist. Myer Audio has done well with the SL224, an IEM with such clear and musical sound. If you are in the market for an IEM that has sonics with abundant details and precision of sound, the Myer Audio SL224 should be on your playlist. If that's the sound you like, if you want tons of details, if you want fast, quick bass, but you're not one of those bass heads and you don't have any issue with extended, airy treble, this should definitely be on your shopping list. Thank you very much for joining me for the review of the Myer Audio Sliivo SL224. A standout IEM, one of the good ones, folks. Take care and see you again at Silicon Sounds, audio for the rest of us.